Hey folks, this is BestInSlot back with some pretty exciting Jurassic World Evolution 3 news. Now just yesterday we took a look at Frontier's financial management thingamajiggy, that's the official term, and they talked about coinciding the new game with the release of Jurassic World Rebirth. That's pretty obvious of course, but it was good to see confirmation that it's something they're looking at. Well, not only do we have the presentation we saw, we actually have a video discussion and a video presentation. I want to give credit to SM4107XX over on the Jurassic World Evolution 2 subreddit, who, as I can see, was the first person to notice this. And we're going to watch through their presentation, and we're going to pause it and discuss as we go through. So here is them just about to start talking about Jurassic World Evolution.
And so then we talk about Jurassic World Evolution. So this is our best selling franchise to date. It's grossed up, around about £250 million. It has really resonated with players. And what we want to do with the third iteration of a Jurassic game is we want to leverage.
I just want to point out again there, that was very specific. I talked about this yesterday. That was not, this is Jurassic World Evolution. And then he says Jurassic World game. And you can see that Johnny had to think about it for just a second. I am becoming more and more convinced that this third game will not be called Jurassic World Evolution. It will be a continuation of the franchise, but it might have a brand new name altogether.
Leverage that brand awareness. I think what's really quite exciting is it's coming out in the same year as when this film's coming out. So
okay, at the very least that confirms that the game is scheduled to release in 2025. It doesn't say with the film necessarily, but it does mean Jurassic World Evolution 3 is coming out next year.
Universal now announced that it's going to be called Jurassic World Rebirth, and it's still scheduled for the 2nd of July. I believe that they're really going big on this. Again, this is not insider knowledge. It's just reading, all the hype around it. The film director is Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, really well-renowned film director. The screenwriter is David Cope, the person who wrote the original Jurassic Park with Michael Crichton. And the leading actor is Scarlett Johansson. So I think they're going big, and we need to be part of that story. We need to really leverage the furore that's going to be around this film. And I think next year is going to be the year of Jurassic, and we want to be part of that. Again, I can't really say what features are going to be in, but we are definitely applying a rule of thirds. There's going to be the familiar, lots of things we want to improve, and we think we've got 2 standout features which the players have been wanting. And so if you went on Reddit, I'd be pretty sure that we would be capturing exactly what they want the next iteration of the game to.
Okay, so that's really the crux of this video and the big news I wanted to talk about. But he's saying there's going to be 2 big killer features for this third game in the series. So Jurassic World Evolution 2, for example, added your lagoons, added your aviaries, of course much more customizable. I would suggest maybe the terrain tools and stuff like that was also one of the bigger features. But Evolution 2 really lent on the aquatics and the aviaries. Now, so he references Reddit very directly there, and that really limits, I would suggest, what it could possibly be, what these big new features are. I think there are 4 that stand out to me as the major possibilities. I'm going to talk about those briefly now. So the first is, of course, breeding and baby dinosaurs. This is becoming more and more part of the franchise anyway with time. It is something that is the single most requested feature on the Jurassic World Evolution 2 subreddit, on the Jurassic World Evolution 2 forums, on every single comment section, on every Evolution 2 video I've ever made. And I think if you're going to have a killer feature, this would be the killer feature. Now, I think it is a hell of a lot of work. I'm still not putting my hat on this entirely because I think people undervalue how much work it would be to go back and make baby dinosaurs for every single creature in the game. Bear in mind there would also be new creatures. It's easier when you've done it from the ground up like they did in Planet Zoo, for example, or indeed in Prehistoric Kingdom. But I think if you're going to have a killer feature that Reddit wants, baby dinosaurs and breeding is the big one. And this is the first time I've started to think maybe it could happen. Secondly, and I feel pretty confident that this will actually be one of them, given its scale is a lot easier, you would assume, is a map generator of some form, a la Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. This is again another very, very highly requested feature from everyone over on the subreddit. It would give us much more creativity, would give us much more replayability, could make for some really interesting map builds. It would be easier to integrate, I would suggest, than a baby dinosaur system, and it probably is the second most requested feature. If I had to place a bet on one feature I was pretty sure would arrive in Evolution 3, in the wake of hearing what Johnny Watts just said, map generator would be top of my list personally. Thirdly, and this is probably the one I would bet most as the second most likely, ahead of baby dinosaurs, just because I think baby dinosaurs is such an undertaking, would be semi-aquatics of some description. And I would kind of coincide that with a more developed terrain tool system. So ability to place deeper water and moats and stuff like that. And then the ability for your dinosaurs to swim, particularly your Spinosaurus and stuff like that. The ability of creatures like Nothosaurus or Archelon to move from the water to the land. This would allow them to integrate realistically things like, Deinosuchus, Sarcosuchus, extinct crocodilians, lots of amphibious creatures would suddenly make a lot more sense. And finally, and this kind of ties in with that, is potentially Xenozoic animals or more non-dinosaur prehistoric creatures. They've kind of moved in that direction with Dimetrodon, of course, and stuff like that. The Camp Cretaceous show introduced, the Smilodon, so there is precedence for that within the Jurassic canon already now. They could add mammoths, giant sloths, finally, and they could add all that kind of jazz. They've got a really good feather shader that will work also as a really good fur shader. I think they could integrate creatures like that really, really well. And I think that would make for a pretty effective killer feature. There's 4 there. Now, whether they all count as big new features heavily requested is up to you. Like I say, map generation I'm pretty confident on. I could see a world where map generation, semi-aquatics and Xenozoics are all in, with semi-aquatics maybe not appearing to be a killer feature. But are there any other features you would like to see? Let me know down below. Features that would be, big box art features. Let's see the rest of the presentation.
To be. So again, very exciting for this. Again, as I say, to do another Jurassic game is a privilege, and we need to work very hard to make sure it's as successful as the first 2.
That is about it. So, confirmation that Jurassic World 3, Evolution 3, is planned to come out in 2025. Probably July. I bet yesterday the 8th. I'm going to bet actually a week later. The 15th of July is really my guess as to when this game will come out. 2 big, popular on Reddit features. Yeah, exciting stuff. We're hearing a little bit more now. We're getting just little drips and drabs of exciting information. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Shout out once more to SM4107XX for spotting this and bringing the content to the public. That's me and you at home. And yeah, let me know what you think down below. I'll see you lovely folks very, very soon. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.